Alright guys, what's up? Again, thank you for joining up on Throttle Therapy. Yesterday, I gave you guys a update on the Yamaha, and today I'm just kind of showing and explaining what I have done to the Kawasaki Vulcan here. It's in 2002 Kawasaki Vulcan 750. This was my first bike I got from my mother-in-law, and it's been a damn good bike for when I had been riding it. It's really dirty, it's been sitting in the garage. But kind of going through what I've done to it. First things first, when I got it, my buddy helped me rebuild the carbs. I did a complete fluid flush. The oil, I redid the forks, I flushed the cooling, the radiator. I had to put in a new thermostat housing, port seals, air filters. The overflow tank for the cooling was cracked when I got the bike, so we had to repair that. I put new grips on it. I do have some handlebars, but they were shorter and they were causing me problems, so I went back to the stock bars. I added these saddlebags, as you guys kind of seen in the channel debut video. I redid the rear turn signals and brake light, and it has a integrated tag light on it because the stock one didn't work, and the turn signals, they were busted because the bike was laid over by the first owner. So in order for me to fit on the bags, I had to take off the rear turn signals, and I just did an all-in-one type deal. It was it was fairly easy to wire up than what I expected, but it actually went pretty well, and it hasn't given me any problems. So going with what we did, I cleaned out the tank, rebuilt the petcock, and I actually ordered a new petcock as well. We did all the oil, so we also did the oil filter. We also got a new radiator fan, or used one, because the stock one, the fan snapped off of its axle basically. And what else have I done to this thing? Oh, we did the stator case gasket. It was leaking. It was leaking quite a bit. Probably after this bike sat for about 10 years, and when it got up to running, it started to leak. And of course, new battery. What else have I done to this thing? Oh, I added the fork bag that's there on the front. It did have a fork bag, but it was old, and I didn't like it very much. So I had to put a new one on, and I think that is about it for this bike. All that I have, let me come grab you, and we will show what I'm currently doing on it. So currently what we are doing on the Vulcan 750 is, when I finished putting together or back together this bike, because we had to pull the engine to change the stator case gasket, which is on the other side of the bike. I guess I didn't tighten my my cap nuts for the exhaust correctly, and I snapped the studs. So we'll grab so there's the exhaust manifold that sits on the front cylinder there, and these studs I ended up snapping off. They were sticking out, and so I cut them down just a little bit and drilled it. Come on, can you focus? Focus, please. Thank you. And drilled into them and tried to get it out with an easy out, and it wouldn't work.
and I actually snapped the easy out. So I have to order a new one of these. Another thing that I do have to order on this, excuse the mess, don't look at that. I have to get this bracket right here, and a new adjustment screw for my clutch lever. I didn't screw it on correctly when I was putting it all back together, and I ended up stripping the inside of that out. But all in all, I mean, this is a running bike. I absolutely love this bike, and when it is running, I pretty much daily it. Another thing that we did, we rebuilt the final drive back here, and we filled it up with new oil. And this is a shaft drove bike, and there was a decal on that, and I got a little bit too aggressive. In here is the universal joint, which we lubed, which they really weren't all that lubed when I got it, because of course it sat for a while. We also had to add a new gear case gasket. Again, I did the stator case gasket. I did put on new automatic chain or timing chain tensioners. I do have some manual timing chain tensioners. Excuse me, I just cannot talk. And I just didn't like them because on the other side of the bike, where the overflow is for the coolant, I couldn't get this tank on correctly. And sorry, I couldn't get this tank on correctly because the manual chain tensioner, it was too long and it was too in the way. Also, when I first got it, as you should with any bike, I replaced all these spark plugs, and I also got new throttle cables when I was basically rebuilding the bike as well. The old ones, they were kind of frayed, and they weren't working correctly. I don't know if anybody else can kind of confirm what I'm saying. When you're kind of using your throttle, and it just doesn't feel right. That's just it just didn't feel right. So I put on new throttle cables. But that's pretty much the overview of what I have done and what I'm currently doing to the Kawasaki. Soon as I'm done kind of taking care of business with the Yamaha, we will finally get the Kawasaki back on the road. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to kind of give you guys a all around. I know you've seen it on the debut and you've seen it in the background. I just wanted to let you know what I'm doing with that bike. But alrighty, guys, I'll keep you updated with any progress on any of the bikes. As always, keep 2 down and stay safe. I appreciate it.